My name is ESO and today I'll be showing you how to get the Daedric Crossbow at level 1 for free, and also unlimited ammunition for it. But the Daedric Crossbow is actually both the easiest to get and best range weapon that you can acquire at level 1 in Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Arguably better than any bow in the game as well. Let me explain. So for argument's sake, I have all of the perks in the archery skill tree. Most importantly, the quick shot perk, which improves the reload speed on bows and crossbows by 30%. Now the Daedric Crossbow that we'll be getting has a base damage of 28. There is an enhanced version you can get as well though, and I'll talk more about that later. But first we have a word from our sponsors, Anvil, a top-down roguelike action shooter game, which you can also play in co-op with your friends. It's even cross-platform with Steam and Xbox. Starting out, you pick from 12 breakers, which are like different classes with unique skills, combat abilities, and playstyles. You'll be exploring alien galaxies, searching through vaults filled with enemies. Each vault has a unique boss fight with insane mechanics to overcome. And with a list of over 100 randomly generated artifacts and weapons to collect, each session is completely unique, with endless customization options. Anvil is currently in early access and you can actually download Anvil's demo to try it for free right now from the link below. With new updates coming every month and the new season starting in March, bringing the new journey mode to the game, there's going to be a lot to prepare for, so try out Anvil from the link below. For comparison, the only other crossbow in the game that is more powerful is the Dragon Bone Crossbow, which has a base damage of 30. And for further comparison, the best bow in the game with the highest base damage that's obtainable by you is the Dragonbone bow, which only has a base damage of 20 and also a firing speed of 0.75, but it's actually impossible to get early on in the game. So just for argument's sake, all the crossbows in Skyrim have the exact same attack speed as one another, and in comparison they're usually going to be slower to reload than redrawing a bow. As you see in this comparison though, starting from stationary, the crossbow is faster to fire initially. But then, by the 4th shot, you'll notice that the bow has actually caught up with the amount of arrows fired, and they fire the 4th arrow at the exact same time. Anything more than 4 shots and the Dragonbone bow is now firing arrows faster than the crossbow. But this all becomes rather meaningless when you realise that the Dragonbone bow's base damage is only 20 versus the 28 base damage of the Daedric Crossbow. Meaning that in those 5 shots that were fired, the Dragonbone bow only did 100 damage versus the 140 damage of the Daedric Crossbow. If you then take into account the archery perk, Overdraw, the damage difference becomes even bigger, with the bow now doing only 300 damage and the crossbow doing 420 damage. That's a lot of damage, and that damage difference only gets bigger if you have armor enchanted with Fortify Archery. But remember, this is a simple comparison and I go into much more detail in my crossbow versus bows video, where I talk about things like the noisiness of the crossbow effects on sneaking and much more. That video is linked below if you want to check it out. But now let's get the Daedric Crossbow. So to get the Daedric Crossbow early on in Skyrim Anniversary Edition, you're going to want to come over here on the map to Whiterun's stable. Once here, just outside of Whiterun, you will find a cart where you can hire Golem to take you to Solitude, just here for 20 gold. From Whiterun, we're going to be taking the carriage all the way over here to Solitude. Now once you actually reach the main gate to Solitude, you're going to head through the town and then upstairs just here towards the blacksmith. And just on the left here, you're going to find the Fletcher, and we're going to head inside his shop. Now, after you come inside, what you'll find is there are some glassed cabinets at the end here. They're all going to be locked, and the one we want to unlock is this expert one, which has a Daedric Crossbow within it. It doesn't actually matter if you're sneaking or not when you open this, because it doesn't count as stealing. Now, since it's an expert lock, I recommend just nudging it, and if it gives resistance like that, that means it's going to break your lockpick. So one thing you can do is nudge it, and then if it shakes the lockpick, exit out and go back in. That will reset the lock opening position, but it also resets the strength of your lockpick again. So what you can do is just sort of guess at where there might be some turning. So I can see, okay, it's not there or there, so I'll exit out and I'll try again. I can see no movement. There's a bit of movement just here. So now I know that the lockpick is probably going to be opened around here. So what I can do is just tease it in this part and start spending lockpicks to open it. Say for example, I run out of lockpicks. What I can do is just go ahead and reload that save I made, and I'll have my full lockpicks back. Now we can just find the new position, which is around there. Very close now. There we go. Now we've unlocked the display case and we can grab the Daedric Crossbow. Case, you'll then see that the Daedric Crossbow is available to steal. However, you do not want to get caught stealing it. So what you need to do is come over here, and then the shopkeeper will actually follow you. Come through this door just to the left of the main entrance and run all the way up the stairs here, just to make doubly sure if you have a low sneak skill that he definitely will not catch you stealing. And now after he follows you into the bedroom, what you're going to do is run all the way back downstairs as quick as you can, all the way back to the Daedric Crossbow, which is already open, and we're going to sneak next to it, and we're just going to go ahead and steal it. We can also steal the Nordic crossbow as well if we like, and as you can see, he's only just made it back. Come and look at what we're actually doing down here, and he has no idea that I've stolen it. Now the other thing we can do while we're at the Fletchers is actually go ahead and talk to him and ask him what he has for sale. As you can see, he sells dwarven bolts for 6 gold each, and they do 14 damage. He also sells steel bolts for only 2 gold each, and they do 10 damage. He'll stock lots of random different type of bolts, and you can buy them from him here. He also has a random chance of stocking the Dragon Bone Crossbow. Now whether he stocks it or not will depend on your level that your character is. Now obviously this only does an additional 2 base damage compared to the Daedric Crossbow, so it's really not essential to have. It also costs 3,000 gold, which you won't have at the start of the game either. So now we have this Daedric Crossbow. We've also unlocked the ability to craft an enhanced Daedric Crossbow. So let's go back into the Streets of Solitude, and to the left we can actually head over here to the blacksmith. Now in the future, when you do upgrade your smithing skill to at least level 90, you will then unlock the Daedric smithing perk, which allows you to craft Daedric items. Now because you already own a Daedric crossbow, you would have unlocked the ability to craft a enhanced Daedric crossbow. Now this comes with a secret added effect where attacks with this crossbow ignore 50% of the enemy's armor, which is pretty damn effective. And the best thing about this is that it doesn't count as an enchantment. So what that means is that you can, in addition, add your own enchantments onto this weapon as well. Now later on, when you do level up your enchanting skill, you'll be able to get the perk Extra Effect, which allows you to put an additional 2 enchantments onto a single item. For example, chaos damage and absorb health. And now as you can see, this weapon has 3 active enchantments on it, one ignoring 50% of the enemy's armor and another 2 enchantments of your choice, meaning it's one of the few weapons in the game that you can actually have 3 active enchantments on at once. Now another way to get unlimited steel bolts is to go and join the Dawn Guard. The best way to do this is to hear a rumor about the Dawn Guard, which can happen at any level in Skyrim.
Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften.
After that, a quest will appear in your quest log to go and speak to the leader of the Dawn Guard. You're going to want to come east from Riften, just over here on the map, near Broken Helm Hollow and Stendar's Beacon. Just where there's a little bridge across the road where I'm standing. As you can see, this is the bridge, and then the secret entrance into the Dawn Guard is what are you doing, Lydia? Located just down here on the left of where this tree is blocking the pathway. And then you can just head all the way along this path until you eventually get to Fort Dawnguard. Once you reach Fort Dawnguard and you have started the initial conversation here in this big room, Isran will start training Agmir in crossbows. And if you just stand around, he'll be firing crossbow bolts at these boxes for ages. And you can pretty much just stand here and harvest unlimited crossbow bolts. After that, as you progress the Dawnguard DLC even further, you'll be taught how to make dwarven crossbow bolts and steel crossbow bolts. Now if you guys want to get a full set of Daedric armor to go with your Daedric crossbow early game, or even a guide on how to level up your archery quickly and build your character around being an archer, check out my other guides linked down below, as well as today's sponsor Anvil, and I'll see you in the next video.